That is the place to be for the last 23 years.
23 glorious years.
Yes, it has been. And we await the arrival now of this group. And you talking about an eruption here.
I feel the floor shaking.
Yes, you do. Last night at WCW's Uncensored, the Giant, unfortunately, was sent out of the ring early. But Lex Luger was a one-man juggernaut. He had to face all members of the NWO, and it was almost like World War III deja vu. Luger almost took out the entire NWO last night.
Yeah, he did. Don't forget, the WCW team was a man short from the beginning, so the odds were stacked against them.
You're right. WCW short one man from the beginning that we will be talking about a lot. When Rick Steiner was dropped, and you and I both know what happened there at the hands of the outsider.
And we'll talk about that later. Right now, let's look at this man here, because he is big.
Giant, 7'4", 450 pounds, against the team of Tarantula and Knuckles Nelson.
Boy, not too many men can make Lex Luger look small, but this guy does it. Well, they started off with the powerhouse here. Lex may have a night off.
We're right in with the Giant. And it's certainly easier being on this side of the camera than to be Tarantula.
It's like the T-Rantula just got nailed by the T-Rex.
Boy, did he ever. Throws him into the corner for Knuckles Nelson, and he doesn't want to come in. And can you blame him? I mean, look at the fear on that man's face.
Knuckles didn't exactly dive into that spot, did he? Almost.
Big sledgehammer blows, takes the man literally off his feet and drives him to the mat. Headbutt. And the Giant just stalking his opponent here. Truly one of the greatest tag teams. And you know, let me say this, a big slap. The Outsiders and Bischoff came out here earlier saying, hey, they'll take on anybody. But they certainly are not running to the ring to face Luger and the Giant here, now are they?
Now, did you notice that? Isn't that amazing how Six leaves the building when Malenko comes back, how Macho Man runs in terror when Diamond Dallas Page comes out, and Hall and Nash really good at shooting off their mouths, but when the Giant and Luger are around, they're nowhere to be found.
Stomping away at the chest, the Giant. Sending the man to the neutral corner again. The Giant has taken all of this match. He has dominated this, and of course we've seen this. We've seen the Giant in handicap matches where he's taken on both men, and now he's going to do it again as both men trying to stall here. The big man hits. The big man
runs right through him, like standing in front of a Peterbilt.
He's going to go for a toe slam. The Giant taking care of Knuckles Nelson. For the fans, they just erupt when they see it on. Up, up, and down.
Yeah, there's one man laughing.
Tarantula, you can see the fear in his eyes. The Giant.
He's pointing. They want the power rack.
They want him to get racked. Luger comes in. I don't even think he was tagged, was he?
Power slams him.
1, 2, 3 for one man. But they're not done yet.
Knuckles was the legal man. That's the legal pin right there.
Luger ragged Tarantula, and Luger and the Giant dominate here in the middle of the ring on WCW Monday Nitro.
Well, Hall and Nash won a couple of opponents. Here they are, seeing they're the so-called tag team champions.
That's right, so come on in here right now. They're going to be also talking to Mean Gene, and also Gene is going to talk about and show us, Gene, the scenes from Uncensored last night. It was maybe the most memorable moment in the history of World Championship Wrestling. And like I said earlier, WCW really a neat cutting-edge place to be once again, Larry, because of what happened just last night.
Tony, I'm so in shock. I don't know how Sting did what he did.
Let's take a look once again.
Look at right here. They tried to double team the Giant, but this guy's just too big. He can move. Look at him. He's stretched out. This guy looks like a Cessna. He just double clotheslined him, and right here, picked up Knuckles like a piece of paper, and it was elementary, my dear Shivani. Just a little torture rack for Mr. Luger.
The winners, Giant and Lex Luger. Let's go down to Gene.
Including Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit. You heard the comments during the control center for the U.S. heavyweight title tournament. It's going to be a classic. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And one and a half, Chris Benoit's going to come back from all the beatings and beating-ups he gave and took and all this thing with the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan. Now geared towards a major title against the master of the match. We talked about Dean Malenko. Speaking of guys, so much riding on this situation at Spring Stampede. The Giant, Lex Luger, brother, the door is open for one man to walk through and claim the shot at the crown held by the leader of the NWO, Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
You know, let's talk about what we saw earlier. Booker T came out in a singles match, and his brother Stevie Ray, in a show of unity, came out with him.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the Giant do the same thing as Luger faces T. Rantula in this one-on-one matchup.
I ain't even going there. I ain't even going to the T. Rantula thing.
Well, you don't need to, but let's go right here.
Yeah,
the Giant and
I ain't
Luger,
even going there.
a show of solidarity between these two men, and they realize they must face each other, possibly tomorrow night, if they want a shot at Hulk Hogan down the road.
You brought up the point that they were a cohesive unit going into it, and coming out there'd be a cohesive unit. But if I beat somebody up, or they beat me up, I guarantee you there's going to be some bad blood running somewhere. Yeah, right here on Saturday night, everything looking good, game plans, but they got to have their own plan in their mind how to capture that win at Spring Stampede. And this young man that Luger looking so good is down trying to rack him.
He's going to go rack him right now. This is a big guy. He's going to try to do it early in this match.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the power of Luger.
Got him up.
He is racked T. Rantula. It's over.
I've never seen him look so good. I guarantee you, he'll be right. And the Giant coming, hey, is this going to be a confrontation? No. Oh, high five him right here. Saturday night, everything cool.
Everything is cool. At least they're going to be for about 24 hours or
yeah,
so.
we leaving now. Well, we're getting ready to go.
We're sending Lee Marshall to the ring to talk to him, and here it is again, Dream.
Yeah, right here. Belly to back. Very simple. Crowd said, rack him. Lucas said, I got him. 300 pounds over your head. Big man.
Lee Marshall now in the ring with two men involved in the big main event tomorrow night. Lex Luger and the Giant. Let's go to Stagger Lee. So finally, gentlemen, if I can call them that, coming to terms in the ring, the NWO back together again. But we are going to show you later on in the night when they came out as a group again to try to make a statement to one Diamond Dallas Page when Page called out the Macho Man, how Sting dropped from the rafters and came and stood to the side of Diamond Dallas Page.
There is too much of an investment here by Hollywood Hulk Hogan. There's too much at stake for him to be away or playing in Hollywood, California, when something went down so serious. When I had went on record of saying he need to call somebody, they better call somebody. Well, brother, it didn't take long before he came in. Make no mistake about it, Tony. We seen the walk and talk. G&R Ted DiBiase, Eric Bischoff, name them all the way down the line. They only are as good as Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan is. And I guarantee you, he was a little concerned about that. And he's got big concern. And I really believe Kevin Nash is his big concern. But patched up, see it later, right here, face of fear. They can beat people up bad.
T. Rantula, oh boy. And you're looking.
T. Rantula, and what is his partner's name?
His partner's name is Big Al.
Big Al, all
who's
right.
getting pounded in a big headbutt now by Meng. You're right. Hulk Hogan is the world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
He is the leader. He has the gold belt, and you know, he said it right. As far as the NWO is concerned, unless they are together, this world title means nothing, which means unless you guys can watch my back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold on to this thing longer.
That's good what you said, because that's exactly Silver Tongue told somebody what it's all about. Bottom line, Hogan needs somebody to watch his back. There are numerous people that can beat him. You know, I mean, that really believe in their mind they can, and maybe they can, and maybe they can't. But bottom line, with the New World Order altogether, he's going to be hard to beat. But you must stop Hulkamania. We've talked around it, talked about Piper, talked about Flair. Hulk Hogan is the man. The investment is unbelievable here at WCW and what he means to the NWO.
Kick to the chest by Big Al, and Big Al, boy, they've got the foot up to the face.
Yeah, Big Al got his leg up there.
How about that? It makes a tag, and Rantula comes in. Oh, boy, running lariat that time. How many people could say they knocked Meng down that hard with a big lariat?
Well, there ain't many, but Rantula did, and I guarantee him and Big Al, they saying, hey, I smell a pay window here, and I got to get it, but I guarantee it.
Cross body block. 1, 2. Good to see Mark Curtis back and on his feet after the blatant attack by the Macho Man Randy Savage. Here's a pickup and a side salto or a side suplex, side drop that time. And the Barbarian comes in. Of course, as you know, fans, the Outsiders are the World Tag Team Champs. And we need to bring up another thing here. Here's a double headbutt. Where has Scott Hall been? And that may be some of the problems of the cover, too, within the NWO. The Barbarian gets up off of his opponent that time.
Big Al, he was trying to do something there, and Barbarian tried to take him out. Yo, you're right. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash said, I've known him all my life. Don't worry about this situation. He is the NWO for life.
Yeah, he's also missing in action for 3 weeks. Oh, my goodness.
Brother, this man is seriously injured.
They dropped him right on his head. This one's over.
Wow. He is lucky to even roll towards the apron.
You're right about that.
Face of Fear dominated.
That was going to be the Faces of Fear double team, and they ended up just dropping the big man right straight down on his head. Look at this. He can even stand, and that is amazing. Rantula and Big Al dropped to the Faces of Fear here on Saturday night.
You'll be a little sore in the morning. We're talking about Rantula and Big Al. Face of Fear done you to do. They seem to starting to get their thing together. Just take one more look at it right here. Double headbutt from the Face of Fear. And this right here, close your eyes if you're screaming. Close your eyes if you're screaming. Oh, hello, America.
Oh, my goodness.
I tell you, it's the violent world of pro wrestling right here on Saturday night.
Coming up next, problems exist within the Horsemen when you talk about Mongo and Jeff Jarrett. The story in action next. Exclusive, never-before-seen footage still remaining in this television program. What happened when Nitro went off the air this past Monday when Eric Bischoff and Sting were still in the ring. Plus, the Steiners, the Amazing French Canadians, and we'll take you back to Nitro and show you the brutal attack Ric Flair sustained at the hands of the NWO.
Right, yeah, and
all right, Jimmy Hart and Meng. And you know, of the great matches we had at Slamboree, it was a great night. It was a Rantula trying to get a quick start on Meng. Maybe not a bad idea. And Benoit obviously obsessed with Kevin Sullivan, or he wouldn't take a match like he had to endure the other night.
Yeah, and he had to endure some heavy punishment. And it was a matchup to be remembered for a long time. Yeah.
Look at this drop toe.
Well, now he's back on top of him. You're in a bad spot when you face down and Megan's on top of you. Brutalizing him.
Our fans who watched Saturday night a week ago and the Pro on Sunday realized that Benoit had told Woman, do not throw in the towel. There came that moment in the midst of that Tongan death grip where she almost wanted to, and he shook his head no.
Yeah.
And Benoit, certainly one of the most fearless, one of the bravest men our sport's ever seen. He went into this death match knowing what he was in store for, and I think he's blinded by his hatred towards Kevin Sullivan.
I was just going to say that when you are so blinded by a hatred that you can't see in front of you, if you're so blinded by really what's important, I guarantee you this thing with Sullivan has not only taken its toll, but really damaged himself physically and career-wise.
That's right.
Because titles were at hand for him.
Oh, boy.
He represented one of the top groups ever in the history, the Four Horsemen. All of these things are still in tow, but man, you cannot react when you're getting beat up and you're beaten up. Everything that happened with the Sullivan situation, yeah. I mean, it really has taken its toll on him mentally, physically, and I don't know, morally, but it's there. They got him. They got him, Tonga.
They got him. The Tongan death grip is on, and this maybe, I guess I shouldn't say maybe, truly one of the most feared men our sport's ever seen. Meng dominates again.
You know how to
look at Jimmy
You
Hart.
know how to stomp out a tarantula that's calling across the floor.
I guess that's the way you do it.
Yeah, Tongan death grip. Jimmy Hart trying to talk him out of it.
And he just balked at it.
Yeah, look at it. Boy, his intensity has really turned up a notch, hasn't it?
You can tell that Jimmy Hart's afraid of the man.
Sure he is.
Who isn't?
Right.
I mean,
wow.
He truly is a fighting machine and a destruction machine. Jimmy Hart said, all right, calm down, let's go.
Yeah.
And actually, Jimmy Hart's not leading here, he's following.
Yeah, and like you said, wow, that kick right there put him out. The Tongan death grip, I say trip, put him out. Got him, laid him to waste right here. The attitude change in Meng has made him more devastating than ever.
It's our Valvoline replay. People who know use Valvoline. Back after this.